Good afternoon, good morning. Mark Johnson from Loyalty360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. Wanted to talk to you today about a new feature we are rolling out. It's called What We're Seeing, What We're Hearing. And it's a way to talk about the top 3 things that we saw at Loyalty360 this week, kind of summarize some things we're seeing from the brand and the supplier, the partner community at Loyalty360. So we're going to go ahead and kick that off this week. We're going to add some charts and graphs to these things going forward, these sessions going forward. But today we just thought we'd get the first one out. So 3 things we're going to talk about. Review some of the small-sided meetings we had, which are brand-only, member-only meetings of the week. Talk about our new analyst report, the Clarity Report, and a partner review we had there, and talk about an upcoming interview we had with Hallmark and their Chief Marketing Officer. Very impactful. Looking forward to seeing that in the final version. So last week we had 2 small-sided meetings. On the 3rd of August, we had a meeting on next generation customer loyalty. As you know, our small-sided meetings are brand-only, member-only meetings, and we usually have between 12 and 20 brands on the call. And it's really an open discussion where they lead it to talk about the challenges or opportunities they have around that particular topic. So last week we talked about next generation customer loyalty. The notes from the session are online in the brand panel. There is an increased interest in personalization and how to do it. The brands were talking about personalized pricing and zone pricing potentially as an opportunity. Personalized circulars are very impactful as well. But there's also an interest in personalized offers. So incentives that can be highly customized and integrated easily into these programs. There's an interest in evaluating some of the partners out there. They talked about partners such as Don Jagoda, the Marketing Store, and others. Program profitability continues to be a challenge and opportunity around programs. So measuring incrementality, looking at customer lifetime value are a big part of the discussion we're seeing at customer loyalty. It's interesting to hear that most of the brands on the calls this week aren't getting as much insight as you would expect from their partners. So there's an interest in honing these metrics. So for the partners out there who have these programs, really focusing on incrementality, customer lifetime value should be something that should be a pretty significant focus. You know, they're really challenged to substantiate the incrementality of the program for their CFOs. They want to make new program investments, and they are concerned about not having some of the financial metrics they need. There's an interest in mobile and gamification as bolt-on technologies. They see challenges there again with regard to their program partners where they don't have mobile partners that truly understand how the program should offer, should function. And gamification is a big area of interest as well with the privacy challenges and changes we've seen with Google and Facebook, with CDPA, GDPR, CDPA. There's a big interest right now in focusing on zero and first party data. Again, a great opportunity for the partners out there that have that technology. They were asking about best in breed bolt-on technology. So if they can't get that from their current customer loyalty provider, who should they look to? Partners such as Airship and We Are Hathaway were discussed in the call this week. And POS integration continues to be a challenge for marketers. We actually had a member 2 weeks back that we met with. They were having challenges with point of sale integration when they were promised by the technology provider they had it. And so it's going to have significant impacts in their ability to roll out the program in a timely manner. And we also spoke with a couple of others where they're having challenges getting into the queue for 2nd and 3rd quarter of 2022. So POS integrations, who's driving that, how you can effectively drive it is a huge opportunity. On August 5th, we had a meeting around program gaming and fraud. Brands are waving their way through these issues. Again, there's a challenge that not many of the technology providers really have that customer fraud or that identity solution they need. They're having to figure out on their own. So there's no playbook. There's no standard operating procedure that they're getting from their partners. So there's a great opportunity for those who provide for this market to really develop that. And then there's also a challenge with the specialty providers. When you look at the Count, the Forder, some of those, the brands on the call are really challenged with those because they don't feel they understand the technology as well as their partners should. They are working on the internal processes. They're working on standard operating procedures to address fraud, and they're developing ways to address it. program holdbacks on high-risk transactions. So it was an interesting discussion between an assorted group of brands about how they're looking at fraud in gaming. They realize that fraud in gaming is going to be there, but they're trying to limit the fraud instances that have the most impact on the brand. This week we have 2 small-sided meetings, managing the customer transition during COVID, and that's on the 10th, and then we also have one on the 12th of August at 2 p.m. and that's going to be employee engagement. So looking forward to both of those discussions. As you know, we're working on our next analyst brief, the Clarity Report, to be out this fall. We had the opportunity to get a program update from one of our partners who will be in the report, Brierley. They have simplified their approach into a new 3-phase program design process with discover, concepting, and validation. As we know, there's a lot of complexity in program assessments, how different providers are talking about it. So some brand members find it difficult to understand the work product, the timing, and the value they get out of those design and assessment processes. One thing unique about Brierley is they have a fast track consulting process. So they have a series of 22 financial models. Each of them is an individually licensed application, and you own it going forward, that brands can use to run some of these assessments for them. And the best part about it is if you're working with another partner, you can use that as a bolt-on to the platform that will really help you, give you some of that insight that is needed. They have enhanced their partner network. They have focused on their engagement suite as well. An amazing and proven emotional loyalty module, the BLQ, which is seeing great success from their clients. We know a number of clients who are using it, and they are very satisfied with it. And lastly, we had a very unique and powerful interview with the Chief Marketing Officer from Hallmark, Lindsay Roy. A very compelling and interesting story. You don't always hear that in all the interviews that we have at Loyalty360, but this one you guys are going to be very impressed with. She has amazing passion. She's been at Hallmark for 21 years. They have significant and growing interest in the Crown Rewards program. They were very committed during COVID and going forward to new technology, looking at digital cards, powerful promotions during the pandemic that were significant in scale and results. So looking forward to seeing that finished product. And also, I'm sure everyone knows about the August edition of Loyalty Management Magazine, packed full of great brands and interviews such as Haggerty, Celebrity Cruises, Overstock, Michaels, and Jersey Mike's. If you haven't read it, check it out online. The link is below, and also you can find it on loyalty360.org. So if you have any other questions for me, I would love to direct them to me. If you're looking for new technology, program partners, or just want to talk about customer loyalty, a topic in customer loyalty, there's nothing I love more. So please send me an email, and I would love to carve out some time to speak with you. Please join us back next week for our next edition of What We're Hearing, What We're Seeing. Thank you very much for everything you do for customer loyalty. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.